I know as well as anybody that networking at an event can be incredibly scary. I mean, you're wanting me to walk into a room of total strangers and brag about myself? No, thank you. However, I have found that with my own business and with the hundreds of thousands of people that I have helped start small businesses, that networking events can be one of the most powerful tools that you can use in your business. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 15 networking event tips that you can use at your next event. And don't worry, I'll make this super, super simple. If you're not familiar with me, if you're not around these parts, why did I do that? My name is Abbey Ashley, and I created the Virtual Savvy to help other people find work from home opportunities and to start their own at-home businesses. So if that's something you're interested in knowing more about, make sure that you subscribe to my channel, click that bell to be notified every time I release new content. All right, I wanna know in the comments below, have you attended a live networking event before and what was your experience? I would love to know, good or bad, let me know in the comments. Here at the Virtual Savvy, I teach people how to start freelance virtual assistant businesses. And even though I'm teaching people how to start an at-home business, one of the most powerful ways that new business owners, whether you're a freelance virtual assistant or whether you're some other type of business owner, online or brick and mortar, you can so benefit from live networking events for a couple of reasons. There's definitely a know, like, trust factor when it comes to people purchasing your product or your service in your business. I mean, let's just face it, people buy from brands that they trust, right? And there's nothing that builds a better trust factor than that personal connection. When you're actually meeting somebody face to face, seeing their smile, looking into their eyes, you feel immediately connected to them more than you would so through a screen. We've all felt that in one way or another. And so I'm a huge fan of really connecting with people, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, really pushing yourself out of your comfort zone to go to a live networking event to make those personal connections. Another reason why I love live networking events is for the collaboration factor. Even if you don't find a client, right? Or you don't find your next customer at a live networking event, there's still a possibility that you could find somebody that you could collaborate with, right? You could do some kind of partnership in the future, or maybe they have a connection to somebody who would be an ideal client, right? Why is referral marketing so powerful? Is because you're actually transferring that trust that we talked about. Once you're gaining in a one-on-one experience, you can pass that on to somebody else. It's just like if I see a commercial for a toothpaste, it's like, oh, that's cool. But if a friend tells me this is the most amazing toothpaste I've ever used, I'm gonna go out and buy that toothpaste, right? You can transfer that trust just because of somebody's personal experience. So whether it's to get clients, whether it's to form collaborations and partnerships, whether it's for referrals, or whether it's just to challenge yourself to be bold and to do something scary, no matter why you're doing a live networking event, I'm gonna give you some tips for how to optimize that event to make it the least painful as possible. All right, let's get into those 15 networking tips. Tip number 1 is to know where to find good events. Now, I have 3 main places that I love to find networking events at. So I'm gonna slip into my computer real quick, not like physically, that's weird, and show you where I like to find live networking events. All right, one of my favorite places to find live networking events is eventbrite.com. I can go here and I can simply search for the word business or the word entrepreneur. Let's go with entrepreneur. I searched for this earlier. And you're going to put your state here. It might automatically say online. That's not what you want. You actually want to type in, you can use your current location. I'm in Springfield, Missouri. And, if you live in a really small town, you can also go to what's the next closest city. If you're an hour away from Kansas City, go ahead and type in Kansas City, etc. So it's always going to have these promoted ones. And a lot of these are like online ones. So just get past those, okay? We're not necessarily looking at online events, although that is another strategy. What we're looking are live in networking events. So here's one, a local one. Now this one does cost, but speed networking for business professionals, that could be a really good one. And some of the ones that you find on Eventbrite are going to be paid, but there are some that are free as well. This is a free one. This looks like it's more of a class that's coming. Again, this one too, and that one's online. But here's a great one, Flourish Networking for Women. It's almost full, which is great. It means it's going to be busy. This is just simply meeting at a restaurant. The Business Mixer, this is again at a location, and it is free. So you can see how I'm starting to find local networking events in my area. Another great place to look for networking events is Facebook. So I can simply go up to Facebook and I can type in networking. And on the side here, I'm going to select events. Okay, and then you can go ahead and you can choose location too. It's usually going to come up
with the events that are in your city. Although you can see I live 3 hours away from Kansas City, so it might be a little better if I typed in the actual location. Let's try that. Springfield, Missouri. Awesome. Okay, we've got a third Thursday networking happening, business owners networking at our library, customer appreciation networking. Okay, so tons and tons. Battleship networking event. This is at our antique mall, 30 people interested in that one, 87 in this one. So you can see how live networking events are happening all the time in Facebook. Networking is something you could also type in, again, those words business or entrepreneur. Going to go back to events, right? Business meeting, small business academy. That might be like a sales pitch, more the business mixer. So again, any of those words, networking, business, or entrepreneur, and then filtering it by your location is a really great way to find live networking events as well. And then lastly, Chamber of Commerce. Again, I live in Springfield, Missouri, so I could type in Chamber of Commerce, Springfield, Missouri, and you'll have to look at your own Chamber of Commerce, obviously, unless you want to come to our Chamber of Commerce events. But there's usually somewhere on the website where there are events happening, right? So again, this takes a little bit more search because it won't look exactly like mine. But you can see here are networking and events happening at our local Chamber of Commerce. There are almost always free events that happen through Chamber of Commerce. And so that's definitely something you want to look into as well.
My second networking event tip is to invite a friend to go along with you. Now, this isn't always possible, but oh my goodness, anytime that I attend a live networking event or a conference with a friend, it is just so much easier. I just have a lot more comfortability and I don't have the pressure to feel like I need to brag about myself. I can brag about my friend and my friend can brag about me, and it just feels so much less stressful. So if at all possible, and I put this at the beginning because as soon as you find that event, you want to go ahead and reach out to a couple potential friends that could go along with you. If you have somebody else that you can bring along with you, go ahead and do it. All right, tip number 3 is to prepare your elevator pitch. Now, this does not need to be elaborate. In fact, I recommend it be super, super simple. It's basically, how are you going to answer the question, oh, tell me about yourself, or what do you do? I like to follow this formula. I am blank, put in your name here. I help blank. Who is it that's your ideal customer with blank? What do you help them with so that they can blank? What is the end result of working with you? Let me give you a few examples. My name is Abbey Ashley. I help small business owners with general virtual assistant services so that they can pass off the tasks that they don't want to do, right? And if that feels too formal, that's okay. You can simplify it. You can say, oh, my name is Abbey Ashley. I own a virtual assistant business. I help small business owners with small tasks like data entry, customer service emails, etc. Right? So again, it's that who I am, what I do, and a little step more, right? What is the result of working with me? I'm a Pinterest manager and I help online business owners grow their income with Pinterest, right? And it's kind of that, here's what I do, here's who I work with, online business owners, and this is the result, growing your business. I bring more traffic to business owners, or I bring more traffic to online business owners' website through Pinterest, okay? So it's, here's what I do, here are the services, here's who I help, and here are the pain points that I'm relieving. What's your elevator pitch? How would you answer the question, oh, tell me about yourself, or what do you do? Let me know in the comments. Tip number 4, come with value. What is it that you bring to the table that somebody could tap into potentially for free? Now, I'm not asking you to work for free. Please don't give away hour-long strategy sessions at these live networking events. But if you get into a conversation, what is it that you bring to the table that you can really help these small business owners with? For instance, I own a very large community where people can hire virtual assistants. So small business owners join the group and virtual assistants join the group. And so if you're looking for a virtual assistant, that is something that I have to offer that I can share that doesn't really take a whole lot of my time. By the way, if you want to be a part of that group, I will link to it below. So this is something that I offer. In addition, I have a lot of online marketing experience, right? I have experience growing a YouTube channel. So if somebody wanted to, in the networking event, talk about those things, that there are definitely things that I could talk about, that I could help with right there on the fly where I'm already in that moment, right? And giving value up front. So answer the question, what value do I have to give? What's something that I could talk about that could really add value to these conversations? Something that these small business owners might be struggling with. Tip number 5, prepare to listen. I've just shared with you 2 tips that have a lot to do with you talking, but here's the reality. Besides your elevator pitch and besides offering value, there's not a whole lot more that you need to prepare. Let's all have a sigh of relief. Networking events is more about asking questions and listening than it is talking about yourself. So if you're an introvert and you're nervous about having to talk about yourself or having to brag about yourself, don't worry about that. You don't have to do that. The best thing you can truly do is to show genuine interest in another person. So remember, you're going to be focusing more on listening at the event than speaking. Tip number 6, forget your business cards. I know, I really said that, right? I've seen so many people not go to a networking event because they're like, oh, my business cards are outdated or I don't have business cards. Please, no, stop. There are incredible virtual business cards that you can use now. One of my favorites is Blink.
All right, so this is Blink. You can make your Blink virtual business card on your phone. That's where I did it the first time, but I just wanted to show you the online version here. I'll simply go to create your card and look at this. So this is what's going to show up when you open up your Blink app. You literally have like a background photo, a cover photo of yourself, and then it will say your name, email, whatever information you would normally want to do. So you can put in your logo if you want, your profile picture, your cover photo, add, a little icon, your first name, last name. You can really customize this to fit you. Colors, you can have a link to your Calendly. If you want somebody to, book a call with you, Facebook, it just gives them automatically all the information about your business and is just such a cool and clean way to do a virtual business card.
Networking event tip number 7, collect business cards. Now, I know I just told you not to take your own business cards, to use a digital card, but most people are probably still going to have physical cards. In fact, my digital business card has been a really great conversation starter for me. So another thing to use in the mix of your networking event. But you definitely want to ask the question, can I have your business card so we can stay in touch after every single conversation you have at this event? You want to collect as many business cards as possible, get information of everyone that you talk to. That way you can do some follow-up. Tip number 8, have a first touch point mindset. If you're networking at an event, the goal isn't to walk away with 5 new clients. The goal isn't even to walk away with 1 new client. This is your first touch point. And old school marketing tactics tell us that it can take 7 touch points to make a sale, right? So consider this your first touch point. This isn't the only time you're going to be interacting with these people, hopefully, especially those that are your ideal clients. You can return to these networking events, you can do coffee chats, you can follow up via email or in a phone conversation. There's a lot of ways that you would follow up with this person, even in a sales process, whether it's a discovery call or sending an email correspondence back and forth after you chat about your services. There are a lot of different touch points from meeting someone at an event to onboarding them as a new client. So don't stress about the immediate results. You're just there to meet people, to get business cards, to form relationships, and to have this be your first touch point. Are these tips helping? Let me know below what has been the most helpful so far. Networking event tip number 9, dress professionally, comfortably, and with layers. Now, I know that professional can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people, and so I want you to be true to yourself. If professional to you is jeans, a nice top, and heels, that is great. It might be a 3-piece suit, and that's fine. I have found when networking at an event, I want to feel good about the clothes that I'm wearing. I just want to feel comfortable in my own clothing. And I also don't mind being one of the best dressed people there. Like, I always err on this side of being overdressed than underdressed. And this is why I say to dress comfortably as well, right? If you are constantly thinking about how tight your necktie is or about how your ankles are killing you because of these shoes, you're not going to be able to really focus on relationships. So definitely find that line between feeling great in your outfit, but also being comfortable. And then lastly, I recommend dressing in layers. Maybe you're somebody who gets hot easily or cold easily. Having a nice blazer is a really great way to make yourself, again, more comfortable just with the temperature, but also you can really dress up an outfit just by adding a blazer to it. And so I definitely always carry a blazer along with me if I attend an event and feel like, ooh, I need to look a bit more professional, or hey, I actually feel overdressed, I'm going to take my blazer off and now I'm more casual. Tip number 10, remember EMA, ears, mouth, arms. Sometimes when we're nervous, we become really unaware of our own body language. And so I try to remember EMA anytime that I am talking to somebody at a live networking event. I will look at their eyes, that's the E, right? Make sure that I'm making eye contact. I will be aware of my own mouth. Am I smiling? And I sometimes can have that resting, you know what face. And so I have to literally sometimes remind myself to smile. And then lastly, arms. If I'm having my arms crossed, it's gonna make me seem a lot more unapproachable. And so I will keep my arms kind of here. I can be holding my cup, I can be talking with my hand, and I feel like I have somewhere to put it. If at all in doubt, I just kind of rest them right here. So again, eyes, mouth, arms. Make sure that you are being approachable. Tip number 11, start with a compliment. One of the best icebreakers that I have is literally just to compliment something that the person is either doing or wearing. I'll say something like, oh my gosh, I love your curly hair. I've always wanted curly hair. Or, oh, those shoes are amazing. Or, wow, you did such a phenomenal job at that presentation. Where did you learn to speak like that? Compliments are just an instant icebreaker. It makes the person feel boosted. It makes them feel like you automatically like them and accept them, because guess what? We all have our own insecurities. So starting off with a compliment, even if it seems like a more shallow one, is definitely a great icebreaker that I use all the time. After I've done my compliment, I'll use the starter question, which is tip number 12. Tell me about yourself. This is such a powerful statement. Tell me about yourself really opens the doorway for them to share what is most important to them. So they may end up sharing just strictly about their business, but they may share about something they're passionate about. They may share about their family. They may share about the city that they moved from, right? Tell me about yourself is such an open-ended question that it really gives the person opportunity to share about what they want to share about, which leads to more connection points. If you say simply, tell me about your business, they're only going to share that part of their life. You may not know about their 2 kids. They're the exact same age as your kids. And now you have missed out on this really amazing connection point just because you limited your question. So if you remember nothing else from this video, remember the question, tell me about yourself. So tip number 12 was the starter question. Tip number 13 is the expander question. And that is simply, tell me more about blank, right? So whatever it is that they started talking about when you said, tell me about yourself, whether it's their family, their business, their health routine, right? You can simply ask the question, tell me more about blank. Tell me more about how you got the motivation to run a marathon. Tell me more about how you got started with a real estate development company. That tell me more about question shows them that you really care and keeps them talking, which is one of the things that you want at a networking event. Tip number 14, this is for the introverts, okay? Some of you may not need this if you are an extrovert and you love events like this. They light you up, they energize you. But for all the introverts, tip number 14, take a break if needed. Nobody's gonna stress if you spend an extra 5 minutes in the bathroom. Seriously, if you need to take a break, it is so much better to step away, to get your calm, to re-energize a little bit, and then re-enter back into the room. So if you need that space, go ahead and take it. It's no big deal. All right, and we've made it to tip number 15. And honestly, I feel like this is the culmination of everything that we've talked about. And this is how you can add the most power, the most purpose to your networking events. And that is the art of the follow-up. Remember how you collected business cards, you got information. Make sure that you have time already time blocked, already scheduled after this event, the afternoon after the event, or the day after. There's already time set aside in your schedule to follow up with the people that you met. It doesn't need to be a sales pitch. In fact, it's better if it's not. Just go ahead and write something like, it was so great to meet you. Here's that resource I recommended. Or it was so great to meet you. Maybe we could have coffee sometime. Just sending a follow-up email is a great way to stay connected. It's your second touch point and will really open the doorway to that potential coffee chat. Or a week or 2 later, if you say, hey, I was thinking about you, would you want to maybe talk about virtual assistants and see if that could be a good fit for you? That might be a better conversation in email 2 or email 3, but you don't have it if you don't do the initial follow-up email. All right, that is it. I know this was a lot of information. I hope that you took notes. If not, you can go back and rewatch the video. But I want to know, what was your favorite tip? Let me know in the comments below. And I mentioned it before, if you are looking for an online place to network, we have small business owners, we have tons of freelancers and virtual assistants in my VA Savvies community. So you can go to it by visiting the link below. All right, that's it. I hope that you have an awesome rest of the day. Get to networking.